Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a special meeting for September 29th. We have established quorum. We do not have to approve any minutes. Is there anybody in the audience or persons not recognized on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move straight into our public hearing and action. Tonight, this evening, we are going to have a hearing and action on an annexation for the Mountain Bound RV applicant, Mountain Bound Custom Storage and RV Park. A request for annexation to allow for the development of an RV park and storage facility on approximately 46.63 acres located south of Northeast Foothills Avenue, east of Highway 20, and north of Interstate 84. Mr. Cherry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, residents of Mountain Home, applicant. If all of you were here in February of 2022, you are familiar with this property. There was a time where Love's was interested in annexing this property and pursuing development. Unfortunately, that did not come to fruition. However, we have a new developer who has desires to develop said property. So this is the Wilson property, which is 46 acres. If you're familiar with the Jack in the Box, the hotel on the hill, and everything else up there, this is directly south. So as you can see, we have the subject property. It is currently not within the corporate boundaries of Mountain Home. However, it is contiguous, and it does qualify for annexation. Per the future land use map within the comprehensive plan, all the properties around it have a designation of commercial. I think it's important to look at the current zoning map, where we have a slightly different narrative, where we have commercial south of the interstate, and then north of the interstate we have some light industrial, which the hotel, the restaurants, and everything up there, they're actually zoned I-1. And then we have a little bit of C4 commercial. The applicant, for their proposed use of a RV storage and RV park, they are requesting the underlying zoning designation of I-1 light industrial, similar to what is right directly to the north, actually the exact same, with a planned unit development, given the uniqueness of their proposed use. As you can see, the applicant is proposing a RV park, which will have two components. So there's a portion where someone is able to park their RV, and then there are actual metal buildings which are customizable to whatever the tenant wants to do with that building. So there are a proposed 234 RV park storage pads, a convenience store, a laundromat, a fitness center, a maintenance building, a main office, community pool, sports courts, children's play area, and dog area. So we have some uses that we don't usually see with one another. What this is intended as is for long-term storage, for RVs. I think you could store boats if you wanted. I think you could store other sort of items. And also for long-term stays for people who want to stay in their RVs at the park, similar to the way that Mountain Home RV Park operates. The standards that we will be looking at as we review this application are obviously the annexation standards, which are there below. When it comes to that, we want to make sure that we can provide necessary services to this proposed use, which are sewer and water. I have spoken with Richard Arkiti, who unfortunately could not be here. We do have sufficient EDUs and we do have sufficient infrastructure in that area to provide service for the proposed use. Next, when it comes to the standards of approval for a planned unit development, we have various standards there. I believe that the proposed use, it does fulfill the requirements of a planned unit development by taking a variety of different land uses in a very unique sort of creative type way and combining them. So I will let you review those, and I remind you to please review those as you hear both my staff report and the applicant's presentation, as well with any sort of public input that we receive from the audience today. we can tell you that they have met all of the standards when it comes to their public notifications, sending out the letters, putting up signs. All public entities that should be informed have been informed, and we meet both our statute as far as the hearing process and also the state statute. With that, as far as just basic straight facts, before I hand it over to the applicant for their presentation, are there any questions at this time? Yes, Commissioner Roeder.
On the EDU, would that be a whole or half EDU?
The EDU will be interpreted and implemented in the same way that it is at the RV park that we have here in town, which I want to say it's not one. I want to say it's a 0.5 or a 0.75, but I'm going to send a text and probably be able to give you a complete answer before you make your final decision.
So to confirm, we are looking at property that would be zoned what is that?
I-1,
Okay.
which is light industrial. That would be
Okay.
the underlying zoning designation.
Okay.
And then it would have a PUD, which would allow certain deviations, which you can see in the PUD ordinance, for them to do what they want to do.
Gotcha. So would I'm assuming a resident would be able to basically park their RV there, but also make use of their RV while it's there, correct?
Correct.
Brock, can you go over just exactly what the PUD entails besides?
Yes.
Because I'm looking at it, and I-1 is permissible for RV, and it's also permissible for overnight. So I'm kind of figuring out the PUD in my mind. What exactly are we changing?
Yep. And with that, I would actually encourage you, this is a larger application. But if we look to near the end of your packet, to the PUD ordinance, which is here, we have a bunch of stuff where it talks about the purpose of everything. But then we go to really why we have the PUD are the land uses that we want to allow by right, which normally within the I-1 district are not, which is the storage of auto, boat, and RV, a convenience store, an exercise facility gym, the RV park, and the laundry and cleaner. So certain uses, such as the RV park and the storage area, normally those need a conditional use permit. They want that to be permitted outright with said PUD. So instead of coming, so that's one of the perks of a PUD. Instead of coming in for two CUPs, they just see everything they need, everything they want, and they try to make it one singular request.
Right. So instead of it just being, again, so to reiterate, instead of it just being a straight A1, we already, or I1, we know already we can put overnight storage and all the things there. However, we're wanting to be able to have multiple uses there, the multiple amenities that they're going to be putting in there.
All of which are already permitted by an I-1 anyway, from what I'm seeing.
Correct.
So
We also, so that's one part. What we want to look to as well, Commissioner Waller, is the bulk and coverage standards for the setbacks, which I have this right here. And it goes over what is outright permitted and what they are asking.
okay, I don't have any other
That
questions.
makes a little bit more sense. If I can expand it as well, one example of a property development standard that they're asking for a deviation on, just based on the nature of their use, where they're at, the environment that they're in, is normally ARV park, such as the one that we have currently. All of their drive aisles are paved. They're all hard surface. They have to be. That's per city code. However, they're in a C3 district, they're in our main commercial corridor. What they're asking, since they're in an I-1 area, they're kind of on the frontier of Mountain Home, is instead that their drive aisles do not necessarily have to be hard surfaced in the same manner.
Since this is only just for the annexation, would you two mind coming up for us?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Standard sit.
That's it. You'd be comfortable. So we are currently only just talking about the annex and the zoning of the I-1. However, I kind of want to get a little bit more understanding of your dream of what you want to see and what you want to do here and why a PUD. I know that Brock kind of already covered a little bit of that, but I'd like to kind of hear from you. Why not paved roads? Why kind of like deviating from certain setbacks? Tell us from your perspective.
Sure.
Could you state your name for the record, both of you, for you?
Sure. My name is Ryan Rodney, project developer and CEO of Mountain Bound Custom Storage and RV Park.
Josh Zonicky, project manager.
Thank you.
So first off, thank you everybody for having us. Really appreciate the opportunity to bring our concept and our proposed use to beautiful city of Mountain Home. I think it's going to be great. We've experienced great success in Lake Havasu City, Arizona, which is where our flagship property is. It sits on about 160 acres. I think what we're going to be looking to do is obviously break ground as quickly as possible and bring it to life in a timely fashion. We want it to be first class. That's why we want paved roads. We want state-of-the-art buildings. We want amenities. We essentially just want to duplicate what we already have and take this template that has already been approved by the County of Mojave and essentially use these standardized set of plans and stamp it here, just to make it seamless and make it as straightforward as possible. So, and hopefully that makes your guys' job a little bit easier as well.
Did you say paved roads?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Because I heard gravel.
I heard gravel.
I had assumed wrong. I had confused them with another project.
Oh, okay. So paved roads.
Yeah, so currently we're 2.5 over 4 is basically the county standard and the city standard as well. And that's worked out really nicely. We've been in business since 2020, and we've got some big rigs out there, a lot of heavy boats, big boats, a lot of toys, and we fog seal. I think we've only had to fog seal one time since we've opened the doors at Riverbound. So it's worked out nicely. But I think, the statement that I'd like to make going into this is that we don't want to do anything on the cheap. We're not trying to cut any corners. We want to do everything first class. I think there's an old saying, you get what you pay for, right? So we do want to put, craftsmanship and as much state-of-the-art construction as we possibly can.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. We'll go ahead and have you go ahead and sit back, and I'm going to call up the public.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
The applicant also actually did have a video of their existing site, which they're going to replicate here. I don't know if that's something that would be advantageous for this body to see, being that it's kind of something different that we haven't seen before.
Sure. Let's go for it. Good, yeah, thank you. With this, I would go ahead and open it up to the public. Anybody who would like to come up and say, please remember that you do have a 3-minute time limit, and you need to make sure you state your name and address for the record. So, who would like to start us off?
Hi, I'm Laura Stone. I'm with Johnson Brothers Hospitality, and my address is 3175 North Foothills Avenue. And I'm just here to support this development. Obviously, we have the hotels up on the hill, and we just think we've been working with them already and going through ideas, and I just think it'll be a really nice complement to what we have up there already and what we're trying to attract and do for the whole area. So that's pretty much all I have as far as concerns, but we've addressed some concerns with the drive that would go in front or on top of the Hampton. So we're kind of, going to work with them on trying to address that and have good access, because right now I think the only access you guys have is down by the subway, kind of that small. So just giving the big rigs a chance to drive around, I think would be beneficial. And that's something we were trying to do with Loves, but it didn't work out. So anyway.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
You betcha.
I'm Liberty Troush, and I live on Trail Ridge Court, so kind of on the other side of town. But my question is, am I understanding the DEU, those are the water rights or water points, right? Is that what we call them?
EDUs, yeah.
EDUs?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm questioning that only because, it's Mountain Home, we're running out of water. And you say you have those rights, but the last city council meeting I went to when they were approving the 191 apartments, the city council said we don't have enough UEDs, and they passed it anyway. So call me crazy if I'm not really on board with you saying you have enough when city council passed something that said they didn't have enough. So I'm just curious about that part. And then 2 weeks ago, the mayor gave an interview on that TV show 208, and he said that you want to keep Mountain Home a small town feel. That's not a small town feel. That's the first thing you're going to see when you're driving up from the south. That's not a small town feel. And the mayor said 2 weeks ago he wants to keep Mountain Home as a small town feel. And that's part of the town's comprehensive plan too, is keeping it a small town feel, and that's not it. Smashing as many things you can into one place and putting it up against the freeway so that's the first thing people see, that just doesn't feel like it's falling in line with the town's comprehensive plan. So, and then maybe you can answer this later, but I don't even know what a fog sill is, so maybe you can explain that to me later.
Okay.
And that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Liberty, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing on this. I'm going to actually invite you to come back up. Love the fact that you're working with Laura and the hospitality staff up there. Any conversation with Pilot? Having a conversation with them about how what you're building might impede what they're doing, and because according to the ITD report that I see, there's going to be a right-only left turn in and a right turn out, which is going to possibly cause problems for Pilot. Have you had a conversation with them at all?
No, we've just stopped in and kind of introduced ourselves and said, hey, I don't know if we were talking to the appropriate person, but we just said, hey, we're bringing a development here, and just wanted to give you kind of a heads up, and I think it will benefit their business because RVs and campers and off-road toys and boats, they need fuel and that sort of thing. So I think they kind of looked at us and gave us a thumbs up and said, have a good day.
Sounds good. Okay. Commission, questions, comments, motions?
Mr. Chair, just to visualize what you just said about the right turn and left turn in, maybe we could bring up on a map just kind of so everyone can See what that's gonna look like.
Let's see if I have a better map for you. Mr. Chair. So, Commissioner Roeder, we have received the memo from ITD. They have reviewed their TIS at length. What they are saying is one thing that is non-negotiable that has to go in is there's going to have to be a right turn lane going right here on
Foothills.
Foothills. Thank you. Which will go in right here. They will have to provide that. They have also stated, because as you can see, the total build out of the proposed project is 234 pads. They will not be able to build 234 pads with other users in the area coming together to add additional infrastructure to relieve traffic. So they are capped at 150 pads. What will happen is once that is ticked, they will be responsible, along with other landowners in this area right here, to build a road from Foothills all the way, I believe it has two names, we know it as Hot Creek and Worthley. They will build it to there, where there will also be a light at that.
At Hot Creek Road?
Yep, Hot Creek Road
At 20.
and 20.
Once
will need to
once
be built
they
there.
once they hit 150.
Wow.
Is that what I'm hearing?
151.
For this specific user.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
ITD has also spoken with development staff, but we also know that there is other development that wants to happen there. We know that the hotel wants to expand their services as well. And it was important to ITD and also city staff that we don't give any one user all of the candy before we have to say, hey, we have to do this. So what we have been informed by ITD is this user right here will be allowed 150 pads, and the hotel, when they build, they will be allowed to do up to 150 rooms. So essentially, when we look at trips, it's 300 temporary dwelling units, which is the number before we have to have those improvements. I am hopeful that we will be able to hopefully secure those improvements sooner, being that, yes.
I was going to say, okay, so before we get to that then, with the 150, and I know that's going to be a right turn lane, according to ITD, you can only have a right turn out, which means that you can't turn left there anymore. So where is all the traffic going off of Foothills Drive if they can't turn left outside that?
We have the applicant's engineer here, who I would invite to come and explain that just a little bit more better than I could.
Okay. Yeah, love that.
Hi.
Hi, did you understand the question?
I think I understand the question. We can talk it through.
Okay.
I'm Amy Longside with JB Engineers. I did the traffic impact study for this site. So ultimately, ITD had expressed before the traffic impact study was even completed that at a future point in time they wish to see the intersection of Highway 20 and Foothills be converted to right in, right out, with the potential for left ins as well. Kind of at that point when there's so much volume on Foothills Drive that the intersection is not operating well. So that was something that they've kind of envisioned for the future, regardless of what development occurred. And but so at that time, the connection over to Worthley will need to be constructed, and anyone who wants to turn left out onto Highway 20 would need to use that Worthley connection and take a left up there, up further to the north to get out.
Okay, so what about now, before you hit the 151 mark? Is that still going to be a no left turn out?
So the no access control would be added at the intersection until that 150 is hit and until that Worthley connection is constructed. So those have to come together.
Got it. Okay, that was my question. So up until this point, everything's going to stay the same. You're just going to have a right in and a right out, but you can still turn left out up until the 151 point.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay, that was my question. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
That was my question as well.
Sorry, I talk a lot. Y'all can tell me to stop talking anytime. So you know.
Mr. Chairman,
Heard that. Heard that.
Okay, so this makes better sense now.
All right, Billy.
If it's okay, I'd like to make a statement, actually, if that's all right. I think it's a fantastic idea, by the way. I think it's well drawn out, and if you've ever driven through town during the holidays and seen a camper on the side of the road with a slide out, it's disturbing. All right, it really is, though. It shrinks the road. Something like this to be able to give somebody an outlet to be able to stay for holidays, or let's say they're just traveling through. I think it's a good idea. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that.
Commission, do we have a motion on the annexation?
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, Travis?
I'd like to make a motion to annex and zone I-1 light industrial planned unit development, a single parcel which is approximately 46.638 acres located in south and northeast Foothills Avenue, east of Highway 20, north of Interstate 84 to I-2 heavy industrial. I-1, excuse me, light industrial.
Okay, I have a first by Travis, have a second?
Second?
Second by Scott. All right, Scott, we'll start with you.
Aye.
Okay, Christina?
Hi.
Billy? Aye. Travis?
Aye.
Aye for me as well. So annexation passes. We move down to the next one for the planned unit development for the, again, Mountain Bound RV applicant for the Mountain Bound Custom Storage and RV Park. The planned unit development to allow the development of an RV park and storage facility that will provide 234 RV parking and storage pads on approximately 46.63 acres located south of Northeast Foothills Avenue, east of Highway 20, and north of Interstate 84. Mr. Cherry,
Mr. Chair.
I mean, we kind of already had a good conversation about the PUD, and I think that we got a really great example up here. Is there any other questions that you want to have before I open up to the audience?
Pretty cut and dry.
Okay. In that case then, because it is a new action item, I do have to open it up to the public hearing, so I'll have you two go ahead and step back again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There's a lot of ups and downs.
No worries. Like that.
I just had that, so I know if again, this is open to the public. I know if you already stated something, this is now just for the planned unit development of what they are proposing as the development. So if anybody would like to come up and speak to that.
Well, I just had a question about where the light is going. I wasn't, you said when they get to 150, we have to do a light, or
Yeah.
where is that exactly?
Perfect. So I'll have actually,
I just wanted, I didn't understand.
I will answer that now. Actually, we'll just answer that now to get it out of the way.
Okay, thank you.
So, right here, this is Foothills Avenue.
Okay,
This is where we have the existing Chevron,
right.
we have the Hampton, Jack in the Box, etc. So when they hit that magic number, we will need a new road to be built all the way northward to Worth Lee Road, which is sometimes known as Hot Creek Road, and a light will need to be built right here.
So kind of up by the reservoir?
No, it's going to be actually south of the reservoir. It's going to be closer to in the ditch.
Yep.
In the ditch, okay.
Yeah.
Right there. I got that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Perfect. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public hearing for that as well. And commission, I'm just going to shut up. You guys do your thing.
We're missing the page to. Are you missing it?
I don't have it. I mean, unless it's the same one.
Let's make a motion that we're using the same.
That's the same one. That's all of it.
Yeah, so you put two in one. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so everything together. So this would be what you're looking at.
Right. Okay. Right. I got one better. I'd like to make a motion.
Oh, perfect. All right, Billy.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the annexation, no, we're not.
Planned unit development.
Planned unit development of 46 point, no, hold on, this,
The Mountain Bound Custom Storage and Park. Would be your best way to say
sorry,
it.
sorry, my apologies, with 12, remember, I get that way. Mount Home Custom Storage RV Park, with the applicable codes and standards, Mount Home will authorize it,
Start here.
okay, sorry.
You're good.
Subject site amendments as required by Public Works, Fire Zoning officials to comply with all city codes and standards. All future development will comply with bulk and coverage controls of the proposed mountain bound custom storage and RV park PUD to the I-1 light industrial zoning district when applicable. Idaho Transportation ITD approval required regarding all future developments.
Second?
All right, we got a second by Travis. Travis, I'll start with you this time.
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Gina?
Aye.
Scott? Aye for me as well. That motion passes. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Appreciate that, and I look forward to some really good looking stuff up there. So,
We're looking forward to it as well.
awesome. All right, we have no new business, no new old business, no department head items, no items requested, and ladies and gentlemen, adjourning at 6:32.